Wednesday, that day of middleness. Wednesday, that day where you can't be happy and you can't be sad. It's a weird day, is Wednesday, but that is today, and it is the 11th of March. And not only is it the 11th of March and a Wednesday, I believe it's also budget day. Budget day. So the new Chancellor of the Exchequer is doing his first budget today. Now, I don't know what's going to be in this budget. I can only but speculate. It's being known as the Corona budget. That's what they're calling it. The Corona budget. But I thought, you know what? I'm not a politically minded person, really. Not really. But if I was in charge of the budget, you know, if it was down to me, these are things that I would include. And I'm not going to break down the entire budget. I'm just going to say things that I think should be in it, just to clarify. Yes. Budget item number 1. I would reduce VAT down to 15% again. And this is purely to put a bit more money in people's pockets, and the European Union can spin on that because it's their fault we're up to 20% right now. Yeah. So I'll reduce VAT down to 15%. I would remove VAT from all female sanitary products, along with all hygiene products and cleaning products. That's right, boys and girls. Not just women that benefit from this little tax break. No. All soap, all toothpaste, all kinds of cleaning products, whether it's bleach, toilet cleaner, Pledge, anything that is used for cleaning, tax-free. I would do that. I would remove tax from soap. It's a kind of a no-brainer, isn't it? Yes. And that includes toilet paper, if you can find it. I would increase the cost of cigarettes. I would. I'd put an extra 50p on every packet of cigarettes. Oh dear, I don't smoke anymore, so I can quite happily say that. I would make vaping products taxable at 7%. Oh no, we're throwing a spanner in the works there, Chris. You've said you want VAT to be 15%, but the thing is, the reason why I want vaping products to be taxable at only 7% is because they actually help people out. They help people to stop smoking. However, they still have their risks, and I can understand and accept that as a vapor myself. So 7% tax on vaping products. Okay? I think that's more than fair. I think that's okay. Where to begin? I've already begun, actually. Where shall I go next with this? I would set aside, I don't know how much money, because I don't know how much money the government has to play with, but a lot of money for NHS emergencies. And I would also set aside money for what could be classed as pandemic-sized situations, much like the coronavirus now. It is becoming a pandemic, and let's face it, in this country we're doing way too little, way too late, and the funding pretty much is coming straight out of the NHS budget when there should be, at the moment, a separate pot of money and a whole different procedure away from NHS hospitals that deal with pandemic case illnesses. You see? Funded. That's what I think should happen there. Oh, there should be tax breaks or a relief effort between now and August for all small businesses, which means 0 business rates. Because there are people that I know personally, good friends of mine, who have businesses who are going to struggle so bad over the coming months, where people just aren't going out. They're not buying anything. You see, it's just not happening. So if they've got no money coming in, what's going to happen? They could lose their business. So I'm suggesting, if it was me, I would put business rates on hold until August. 0 business rates for small businesses. How about that? How does that sound? Does that sound good to you? That's what I would do. That's exactly what I would do. What else would you do, Chris, in Chris's Real Talk? I ask you here. Or I ask you here? I hear you ask. What else would you do in this magic unicorn budget of yours, Mr. Chris, of Chris's Real Talk? Well, I would make it law that the television license would be abolished by BBC license fee, and they would have to go commercial, because then they could spend whatever money they like, because it comes from advertising, not from your pocket. However, the stipulation would have to be the BBC would still have to remain impartial when it came to politics. That would be the only clause, you see. Or another way of doing it, and I'm just throwing this out there, if you have Freeview, okay, if you have Freeview or Freesat, there should be no fee whatsoever for the BBC. However, if you're lucky enough to have Virgin Media or Sky TV, then your BBC subscription fee should be rolled in with your subscription fee to Virgin Media or Sky. And then there's people going to moan, but why is it us that have to pay for it? Because the fee you would pay would only be something around about, I don't know, £2 per bill. A breakdown of £2 per bill, and the rest of the BBC's license fee would actually come from advertising. So, you know, depending if people want to have satellite TV or Sky Q or this, that and the other, on top of your entire package, £2 of that a month would be for the BBC. I'm just saying it works out cheaper that way, really, especially if they're getting advertising revenue as well. So it's just an idea. I don't have Sky Q, I don't have Virgin Media, but if I did, I wouldn't mind paying for it because it's only £2. I'm just saying. But that £2 would give you access to the online stuff, and I'm sorry, but if you don't pay for it, you would have no access to the online content. But if you've got a Now TV box, or if you've got a TV that can record onto a external hard drive, then obviously you can play back your bits and pieces like that for free. So there's workarounds, there's ways and means. That's, you know, so that's another little thing off my checklist for my imaginary budget. What else would you add to your budget, Chris? I would reduce duty on petrol and diesel is what I would do. And another thing I would also do is to stimulate the electric car market, because let's face it, electric cars are horrendously expensive, you see. What I would do is say to all local councils throughout the entire country, if one of your residents wish to purchase an electric vehicle, they are obligated to approve a charge point near or on the property where that person lives. Good morning, Jack. You see, I live in a block of flats and I can't buy an electric car. One, because it's too expensive, and two, because I can't have a charge point put in. It would have to be a mandatory obligation for housing associations and local councils or landlords to accept and approve the installation of charge points for electric vehicles. That's what I would do, along with, and you're going to love this because my budget has tax breaks for everyone, zero VAT on all electric vehicles. I would do that. So if you're looking to buy a new electric car and you can't afford it because the VAT is just putting it well above your price bracket, I would make it so that all electric cars have zero VAT on that. And if you're going to get a finance agreement, then that finance agreement would be interest-free for the duration of that transaction period. So if you buy the car over 5 years, it would have to stay interest-free. This is a way of stimulating the economy, really, because if more people are buying electric cars, then it's better for the environment. But there's another argument said about that, because I've done this before. But if everyone wants to get an electric car and it's too expensive, make it affordable. I'm just saying. So in my budget so far, I would raise the cost of cigarettes. I would actually raise the cost of alcohol as well. I would reduce VAT down to 15%. I would abolish VAT on all female sanitary products across the board and have no VAT whatsoever on all cleaning products, to cleanliness at home or human consumption cleaning products, soap, shower gel, toothpaste, mouthwash, what have you. All of that, I would say, would be tax-free. Another thing I would do in my budget, as we are leaving the European Union, is farmers in this country that are taking a financial hit due to Brexit, and I've said this all along, I would give a portion of the money we would be sending to the European Union to our farming and agriculture sector. So if they're losing out because they can't export, or they're trying to export but it's too expensive, we would subsidize that money so they won't take a financial hit on that. I would also invest in new, cleaner, economically friendly farming equipment to help these farmers upgrade their the way they do things, to make things more efficient for them, to make things cleaner and greener for them, and also make living conditions for animals, livestock, a lot better. You see, I don't like, I eat meat, but don't get me wrong, I am quite frustrated at how some animals are kept. So I would put more money into the farming sector, livestock, to make sure that animals are looked after in a much better condition. I would do that. I'd set aside a few £1 million for that every year to make sure that actually happens. I would put more money into the education system, and I would make all school meals in primary school free. This is a big thing. This is a very big thing, because before, meals in primary school was only from years 1 to 3, I believe. I've got kids in primary school. My kids have packed lunch, and it's cheaper for me to do a packed lunch than for me to give them lunch money or pay for their lunch once a week in bulk so they can go and have their lunch. A lot of families can't do that. In fact, a lot of families, unfortunately, can't even afford to buy food for packed lunch. So there's mums and dads out there that are literally starving themselves to see their kids eat, which is good. I would do that, but it shouldn't have to be that way. So in my budget, I would give money to schools, set aside an amount of money to give to schools to provide free meals for all children in primary school. That's what I would do. I would also, I'm not sure if I could put this in a budget or just make it legal legislation, I would ban the selling of fried chicken to all kids below the age of 18. Just a side note, because I noticed that when kids come out of school, especially in South London, it's probably the same across London, but it's different elsewhere in the country. When kids come out of school in South London, the first thing they do is they make a beeline for the chicken shop, where they then spend their money. So they're doing badly at school because they're not eating. They don't have the mental capacity or the energy to learn. And then after school, they're going straight to the chicken shop, buying crap, then leaving it on my bus. It's a personal thing, really. They're then getting on my bus, eating it, leaving the rubbish on my bus, and then going home and then eating again. So Monday to Friday, I'm going to say chicken shops should be banned from selling anything to kids under the age of 18. Sorry, kids, but that's just me. What else now? What else would I do in my imaginary budget? I would make all prescriptions, just like in Scotland, free. I would. And I would also say that doctors, I would put a ban on doctors writing out prescriptions for ibuprofen and paracetamol, because if I can't make prescriptions free, I don't want people paying up to £9 for prescriptions of paracetamol and ibuprofen. And it does happen. You can go to the shop down the road and buy a box of paracetamol for 16p. Yeah, you see what's going on there? I see this happening. I've seen it happen. You see, so for me, I would say all prescriptions to be free. But there's a catch to that. There is a catch to prescriptions being free. You see, in my budget, your prescriptions are free if you go to a GP and have to have a prescription up to 3 times. You see, the first 3 would be free. However, within that rolling year, if you have to go and get your 4th prescription for an illness, and I'm talking about not recurring illnesses, like things that are different with you all year round, then the 4th one you pay for. If you have a condition such as diabetes or heart disease or anything like that, as opposed to just a chest infection, anything like that that is chronic or life-threatening or hereditary, those will remain free forever. So if you suffer with glaucoma and you need medication for that, free. If you have diabetes and you need insulin, free, regardless of how old you are. You see, these things should be free forever. But if you need a prescription for a strong painkiller because you've done your back in lifting something at work, yeah, that's free. If you need antibiotics 2 months later because you've got an infected toenail, yep, that one's free. If 2 months after that you need, say, a mild painkiller and antidepressant called amitriptyline, yep, you know what, you can get away with that one because that's the third one. But however, the fourth one after that in a rolling year, you have to pay for, and that one would have to be up to £15 per pop. That's what I think. That would be in my budget. If you don't like it, leave a comment down below. What do you think should be in the budget? I don't know. I mean, these are things that I'm rattling off that I think should be in the budget. Clearly, it hasn't happened yet. But these are things that I think would work quite well in the world of Chris. If I was the Chancellor or if I was the Prime Minister, these are things that I would be pushing for. You see, these are things that I would like to see to help people, as opposed to trying to rake more money in for the sake of raking money in. What else would I do? I would lower council tax. Everyone's always raising council tax. I would lower council tax in this budget by 10%. That's what I would do. And I would make it so that local councils, local authorities and landlords have a maximum of 30 days to get any kind of repair in your property assessed and repaired. I'm just saying, whether that's a related issue or not, I don't know, but I would push for that. And every day after that repair doesn't happen, you are then compensated £20 per day. That's what I would do. But again, that's a selfish point of view because I've got repairs that need to happen and I've been on at them for years and it hasn't actually happened. So I'm just saying that's what I would do. What else would you add in the budget, Chris's Real Talk? What else would you add in the budget? Let me think. Let me think. You know, I had one on the front of my head just now, and I can't think for the love of God what it is now. I thought to myself as I was rattling off, that's a good idea. And now I can't think. So let me know what you think would be a good idea for said budget. Live chat. What have we got? We've got Transport Hub. Jack, good ideas, Chris. And we need you as Prime Minister. My sister has packed lunch and school meals from reception. But year 2, it's not much for my parents. It's not the point, no. School meals in primary school should be free. That is what I think. It's what I know. It should be free. It's just one of those things. What else should I add in the budget? What else? Come on. Someone let me know in the comments section down below. I should actually watch this back at some point and list everything that I thought was a good idea at the time. I would put money aside for a police force and not a police service, you see. I would put more money aside for a police force. And within that force, I would make sure that all capable officers are trained and proficient in the use of taser firearms, all police officers, because unfortunately we're at that time where, you know, softly doesn't actually work anymore. We need more robust measures to deal with knife crime and acid attacks and terrorism in general. So I would arm all police with tasers, providing they pass a proficiency safety test and they can shoot the damn thing safely and accurately. Make the bins free, as they charge residents £65 a year for garden waste. Morning, mortuary artist. You see, now bins bins being taken away, that should actually be included in your council tax. I don't know why you pay that. Paying a fee to have your waste taken away should be something that a local authority pays for. So if you live in Bromley or Barnet, it should make no difference. If you pay your fee of your council tax to your local authority, they should be the ones responsible for removing waste in your local area. So that to me is a no-brainer. I don't know why you pay a separate fee for that. What else now? What else can we add to this budget? Oh, there we go. This is what I was gonna. This is what I thought of. I just remembered. There we go, Chris. You're not on a good one today. You're waffling. I would make earnings up to £20,000. I see. We're getting there now. So look, VAT in my imaginary budget, I've reduced down to 15%. Yes. Yeah. If you earn up to £20,000, you pay nothing in my budget in income tax. Between £20,000 and £30,000, you pay 10% income tax. However, national insurance would go from 11% to 15%. You would still be saving money, and there would be more money going into the National Health Service and other such places where your national insurance money would go. Also, on a side note, between £0 and £20,000, you may not be paying any tax on that, but you would still be liable for the 15% in national insurance. And this is where we're going to start clawing money back, because if people are working and they're not paying tax, it's going to incentivize people to actually work and earn that money. I think that's a good idea. And the more people that work, especially on those lower incomes, they're still paying national insurance. So in my world, between 0 and 20 grand, no tax, but you do pay national insurance. Between 20 and 30 grand, 10% tax with 15% national insurance. Between 30 and 40 grand, you're paying 20%, which is what it is now, but at a reduced rate of income national insurance of 12%. So if you earn 40 grand now and 40 grand in my budget, you would be slightly worse off, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And if you earn between 40 and 80, then you pay 30% tax and 12% national insurance, and everything over that earning threshold would be at 45% income tax and a 13% national insurance level. Please, someone play this back and write it all down, please, because that would be amazing if I could actually have this all on the comment section and look at it, because I'll probably pick fault with it once I see it written down. But these are what I think would be a good idea. I think this would be an amazing idea, because we're putting more money back into the national insurance coffers, and it's incentivizing people to work, especially on lower paid jobs. You see, that's what I think. That's why this is my imaginary budget. It's a unicorn budget. It's fairy dust is what it is, fairy dust. I'm literally saying things that I think are a good idea. Bearing in mind you probably couldn't afford it anyway, but things I'd like to see. Things I'd like to see. Things that I would like to see is, you'll probably see on previous videos that I've done about Brexit, is the money that we would be spending on the European Union being divvied up in different ways. So you can go and check out those videos from, I would assume, about a year ago. So if you think, where would Chris spend 50 odd million pounds per day? Then you can go and check those videos out. I actually believe in that still. So that's what could happen in that part of the budget. You know, go and check out another video. Anyway, look, I'm going to go because I'm waffling on a little bit now. I don't know what the sound quality of this video is like, but what I am going to say to everyone is do please have an absolutely fantastic Wednesday. Do not suffer with those midweek blues, because yes, you may be halfway through the week, but you're still one day closer to Friday, and you're still alive, you're still breathing, and you're still wonderful. Take care.